Yo, 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 we back with a reacts. Part two to this interview between Andrew Tate versus Piers Morgan. If you ain't watched part one, go back and watch it. It's on my channel already. Give you some insight on where we're at. And yeah, let's get into it.
I think my sister is her husband's property. Do you regret saying it like that?
I understand that with my newfound fame, perhaps it could be phrased differently. However, I still believe that a woman is given to the man in marriage. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but not as property.
No, the property is the word that other people use when they ask me the question.
But as an equal partner in a loving union. That's what marriage actually means. It doesn't mean that when you get married, the woman is given to you as a bit of chattel.
Agreed.
So why say it?
But that's the way that people ask me the question. People say to me, they ask the
oh,
question.
hang on, you can't blame.
Bro, fucking let him. Oh my God. You see what I'm talking about? If you didn't watch part, that's fucking, it's been 30 seconds and he's interrupted him 3 times.
Blame people for asking you questions. Surely, if you want to be accountable,
I'd be pissed, bro.
Said, you've got to own your responses, not blame the question.
I own the response.
You know, me ask you a question now, and you say something, and then say, well, actually, I blame you for asking.
I understand, Piers. Piers, I understand. I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man.
So you
belongs to the man.
Fundamentally, all right. So fundamentally, you do believe that a woman becomes a man's property at marriage.
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage, correct.
Right. You see, that to me is misogyny.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
Right.
Do you not understand why people think it is misogyny?
I understand why some people can be very offended by what I say. What they do is they take a point like that and they ignore all the other points I make the other way around.
Yeah, but that's why I've repeatedly asked you about that line to see if you've changed your position. But the reality is you haven't.
It's not about changing positions. I'm a full-grown adult and I stick by the things I say and I'm responsible for them.
Which by the way, is fine.
Absolutely.
But what you did say at the start of this little exchange, you said, you know, I wouldn't maybe say things the same way now that I did before I was famous. And yet, actually, you've doubled down and said exactly the same thing.
On certain points.
So that is what you believe. That's my point.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out, look.
Bro, let him talk.
We've just met, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who Andrew Tate is and what you actually believe. I don't want to...
Oh my God, dude.
Let me make it very, very clear to the camera. I believe a woman is given to the man in marriage. I believe that.
He said that 3 times now.
A man has a duty to protect and provide for her.
Yep.
I believe a man should lay down his life if something happens or his wife's life is threatened. I believe that women and children first are on the lifeboats.
But men,
I believe that men...
But a man doesn't own a woman.
It's not, no. It's,
and if they literally buy them as a...
Bro, what? Okay, own is a really strong word, and it sounds like bad, but you guys are in a contract with the religion that you guys get married under, and if you don't do that, by the government for fucking sure. You are under contract to stay with each other forever. You both own each other. That's crazy as hell. If I have a baby, I own the baby, don't I? If I have a dog, I own the dog, don't I? That doesn't mean I can't fucking love it and cherish and take care of it. Like, that is so fucking insane to me.
Slave.
Well, obviously we're not talking about that. We're talking about religious, biblical marriage. We're talking about something else.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I don't believe that I own my wife.
Do you believe your wife was given away to you when she took your last name?
I believe that there is a process where a father traditionally walks his daughter down the aisle and hands his daughter to this man, and they stand there and become a union of 2 loving people in a partnership. No, there's no ownership involved.
I didn't say ownership.
He's not selling her. The father of the bride isn't selling his daughter.
No, absolutely.
That's what property means.
She becomes a member of your family.
Is it?
I think we're arguing over semantics.
Right. You're arguing over a word.
I don't believe a man owns a woman. You do.
Well, I don't think a man owns any sovereign individual. I don't think we live in the world of slavery. I don't own any men or any woman.
Right.
Nobody owns
When you use phrases like property, that's what you imply.
I understand.
And so my point again is, you're a smart guy, right?
Correct,
There's no denying that. You're smart, you're a good talker. I've seen a lot of the stuff. But what I don't think you quite fully understand.
No, I understand
is
very well.
When young, impressionable people who are not as smart see things like, I think my sister is her husband's property, yes, and you've just reaffirmed that belief, they think that they have the right to own women.
I understand that very well, Piers.
That's why people think you're a misogynist.
What Piers ain't getting is that he's not reaffirming that the word property is right. He's saying that the dad gives the daughter away to you whenever she takes your last name. That he's trying to get away from the fucking word property because he knows that he shouldn't have said it prior to him being fucking famous. But he won't let him he just can't wrap his mind around it because he thinks that he has to say he's wrong. He's not fucking wrong. He said he said he would rephrase it now. But he's still not fucking backing down. The way he said it is how he meant it. He just used the words differently. What he said was what he meant, which is why he's rephrasing it to make it not sound like terrible. And he don't get that.
Completely. I understand all of this very well, which is why when you're saying I was backtracking, I'm not.
Do you have any regret, though, over the way you phrased this stuff?
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, when I was not nearly as famous and I was making long format content, I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation.
No, but it's still what you believe. It's what you believe now. So what's the difference?
It's not about, you're asking me, you're saying that young people who are impressionable.
If you said to me, look, honestly, I've had time to think about this, and I wish I hadn't said it, I don't believe that. That's one thing. Actually, you said the opposite. You said, actually, that's what I think, yeah.
I think that when
it doesn't really matter whether you recorded it when you're famous or not famous. It's what you actually believe, right?
I believe that a man has a duty to protect and provide for a woman. I believe that a woman's father gives her away to the man. That's what I believe, and that's in my marriage. That's the circumstance I'm going to live under. If people want to live in a different scenario, that's completely theirs. Their prerogative.
You went on to say about authority over women. If I have a responsibility over her, I must have a degree of authority. Yeah. For the same reason, if I have responsibility over and people are going to use their mind, it's an example, an analogy. Responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority. Yeah. So you believe as part of your ownership or your property of the woman,
protector,
you have authority over her.
No, I believe if you have
that's what you said.
I believe if you have responsibility over something, you have to have a degree of authority or you can't be responsible.
Yeah, but authority means, again, that you're the boss.
The point I'm making, if you'll please let me finish.
Sure.
Right, thank God.
The point I was trying to make was talking about the safety of a woman. She was walking alone at night, and I was saying, well, I wouldn't let my woman walk alone at night. And they said, well, you're not in charge of her. You don't get to decide what she does. I said, I understand, but if I'm responsible for her safety, and I'm the person who's burdened with making sure she is safe, I have to have the authority to say, don't put yourself in unsafe situations. The two things are linked.
Well, you don't have authority. You can absolutely have the right to say to the woman you're with, I don't think you should, but ultimately...
If she decides, then I can't force her.
Right.
And
so
then she's out the fucking door.
You have the ability to control someone.
No, authority implies that I have the moral right to sit and say that that's an irresponsible thing to do, and I'm responsible for
That's not what authority means.
Well, I'm not going to... If you think I'm going to lock somebody up in their room, is that what you're implying?
No, I don't think you know what authority means.
You think you're going to spank them if they don't listen?
It's just a different description of what authority
means. If I have responsibility for her safety, then I have to have the authority to tell her not to do unsafe things.
Yeah, but authority means that you have some form of control over this woman.
I think what you're trying to do...
I'm only trying to get to what you think. Honestly, I am. I come with no agenda here at all.
I understand.
No, you did.
I'm explaining very, very clearly. If I have responsibility over said subject, I have to have authority over it. So let me say you have children, right?
Right.
You have responsibility for them.
No, I have legal authority over my children. That is very different to having legal authority over my wife or my female
He didn't say legal authority.
I'm trying to make.
So you accept that?
I accept that
you used the analogy of responsibility for a child.
My friend, these are
actually really important things.
They're important things, but you interrupt me every 5 seconds, so it's hard for me to actually explain my point. The point I'm making here is very simple. You have children, and you're responsible for their safety, so you're going to have authority to say, don't go out at night, perhaps, because you want them to be safe.
I have legal authority.
You have a legal authority. Yeah. Legal authority. I'm saying that if I had a woman, and the question where you've raised this soundbite from, I was asked about protecting a woman, making sure she's safe, and I would say I wouldn't want her to go out at night on her own, because I'm responsible for her safety. And someone said, well, you don't have authority over her to do that. And I said, well, no, I can't force her to stay inside. But if she were to ask me, how do I protect myself at night? I would say, well, you should stay inside. That's how you should do it.
I don't have an issue with what
you said. So we agree.
No.
It's the semantics.
No, it's not semantics. And this is where I don't think you quite get why there's a furore over what you say, with respect. Because the semantics point would be if we're saying the same thing in different ways. But we're not. I'm saying to you that when you say I have to have some authority over a woman, I say to you, you have no right to any authority over a woman. You do over a child if it's your child, because you are the legal appointed guardian of that child.
Understood.
You're not a legally appointed guardian or authority over your wife or female partner.
Legally appointed, absolutely not. I agree. However, when it comes to things like personal responsibility or personal safety, men, largely by society, are accepted. We're the protectors and providers. We can sit here and pretend that in the world we live in, if me and my wife were walking down the street and men were to come up and try and attack us, I wouldn't be the one fighting. But we both know in reality I would.
Right.
I have a degree of responsibility to protect her. So if I have a degree of responsibility to protect her physically, then the point I'm trying to make is I will do my best to make sure she's never putting herself in unsafe situations.
Do you wish you hadn't used the word authority?
The authority is something that she would give to me.
Right. Thank God. I was thinking in my head, like, how do you word this? Because she's choosing to be with him. She knows what the fucking what the rules are of being with him. Just like how he does. There's just fucking lines. Everyone got fucking lines that you can't cross. And if you cross them, then it's you out the fucking door. His is, if you don't fucking listen to me whenever I'm trying to look out for you, then fucking bye. That's all that he's fucking saying, which is authority.
But how can I make sure I'm as safe as possible?
But I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to point out that's not what authority means.
If someone gives, a person can give
voluntary authority.
Right.
Not authority.
You're thinking about legally.
If a woman, Piers,
Andrew, stop.
Piers, if a woman comes to me and says, "I want you to keep me safe," she is handing me authority for her safety.
But do you understand the difference between having authority over somebody and somebody giving you permission to have authority?
Completely. I never said
one is consensual and one isn't.
But why are we pretending I do unconsensual things?
Right.
You literally say, I must have a degree of authority. I have to have some authority.
If I'm with her, yes.
Only if I'm responsible for her safety. If I'm not responsible for her safety, I don't have authority.
If your position now is that with her permission, I would like to have authority when we go out at night to protect her, that's a different
That was
thing.
always my position.
But that's not what you said.
But that was always my position, Piers.
So again, I simply say to you,
It is what I said, though.
Do you wish you'd phrased it a different way?
No, because we're talking about long format copy where I'm talking about a woman who has come to me and said, "You're responsible for making sure I'm safe." I said, well, then I have to make the decisions.
When an 18-year-old boy reads, "I must have some authority over a woman," what do you think he thinks?
Well, I understand that. And I said this earlier when you tried to say I was backtracking, which I'm not doing.
No, actually, I'm not. I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm not trying to gotcha you.
Cool.
I'm trying to work out exactly what you actually
I understand
think.
with massive fame comes massive responsibility. I understand that a percentage of the population are always going to take everything that's said by anybody out of context.
Would you change the wording of what you said?
No, I would just encourage people to watch my long format copy and understand it fully.
Would you tell an 18-year-old boy you don't have authority over women?
Absolutely.
You would say that?
Unless a woman comes to him and says, "You're responsible for my safety, please make sure keep me safe." Like my woman
now
says,
that Andrew Tate, I can sign up to.
Well, then we agree.
Yeah, but
Semantics.
I don't agree with
Semantics.
what you said before.
Because you're taking a soundbite.
Right.
Yeah, but you
You're
haven't
acting
taken out of context because I read you the entire sentence. It's very.
Well, you've ignored all the context around the sentence, my friend.
You can't ignore a sentence that says, "I must have a degree of authority."
But you can when there's a 2-hour conversation where a woman is telling me if she makes me responsible for her safety, and me explaining, well, if I'm responsible for your safety, I have the authority to make decisions. So you've ignored all the context.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people.
He knew that he lost that argument, so he's like, okay, what's the next topic? So I can switch it because I don't want to say I'm wrong and I don't want to say he's right.
That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is
Yep.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
Well, what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old women.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then.
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm...
Bro, what? All right, I already seen this little part in the first reaction I did of the broken down edited version to fucking hype this interview up. But that's so fucking stupid, bro. You have to like every woman in the world or else you're a misogynist. If you're not attracted to every woman in the world, you're a misogynist. That's crazy, bro. That's fucking crazy, man. But I gotta end this here. Part 3 coming right after this. It'll probably be uploaded already, so just go to my page and find it. But yeah, deuces.